Class of 2011, how's everybody doing? Doing all right? Okay, all right, we'll get there. So first off, thank you so much. It's an incredible honor to have the opportunity to address you all this afternoon. As I was preparing my remarks today, I figured that I would need about 10 hours to really fully encapsulate your journey through your Bentley journey. But I'll do the best with the time that I've been allotted. So in my 7 years working here at Bentley on this campus, I've learned from my fellow staff members to lead from the heart with the mind very, very close behind, spotting along the way. So my words will follow that precedent. While preparing these remarks, I thought back to my own senior year at my undergraduate institution of the University of Central Florida. And for me, it was definitely a mix of the best and worst of times. Much like you all, I was very excited to start the next chapter of my life. For me, it was graduate school at the University of North Carolina at Charlotte. But I was also dealing with the recent loss of my father, George Payne, who passed away in late April, just a few weeks before I walked across a stage very similar to what you all will walk across tomorrow. My father was a very, very colorful, charismatic individual. He valued brutal honesty, common sense, authenticity, among other things, and every day of my life I really try to live in his image. Although he was not physically able to be at my graduation ceremony, we did take the time before he passed away to go over some things, and I'd like to share just a few of those things, just a few of his words of wisdom with you all. So number one, forget the nonsense. My father chose some different words, but you can probably use your imagination on that. Forget the nonsense. Don't get bogged down by all of that which distracts you from your goals, whether it's interpersonal or otherwise. And my spin on this is basically, if the haters want to hate, let them hate. Everybody has a purpose in life. Number two, put some feet up underneath your words and move. It's easy to talk, but it takes a lot more to follow up that talk with action. So again, put some feet up underneath those words and move. And lastly, take your hellos and goodbyes seriously. Nothing in this life is promised, as we've seen in recent events around the world and even in your own journey throughout Bentley. Nothing is promised to us, so take the time to make every moment count, especially for those who love you and who you love. So those are the three things that I wanted to share with you from my father. Most likely you've heard many of these things before, but I have found that as life goes on, these things become more and more important to keep at the forefront, especially as you prepare for the next phase of your respective lives. After having the opportunity to work with so many of you in so many different areas, whether it was orientation, the Alana experience, among other programs, all the way up through what we recently just got back from Commencement Week in Paradise. I have to say that working with your class has been a true honor and a pleasure, and I'm so happy that each and every one of you have chose to come to Bentley. It has been my pleasure getting to know many of you, and you all have been instrumental in making it possible for many staff members such as myself to say with complete sincerity, I love my job. Love it. One of the things I appreciate most about your class in closing here is how so many of you were willingly branched out and stepped outside of your comfort zone and forged relationships with people from all walks of life. So I'd actually like to close with a reading of some lyrics from a song that many of you might know and love. Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant. And if you threw a party, and I guess these parties can be registered, unregistered, it doesn't matter anymore. You can pick up some forms from Res Life if you need to. Invited everyone you knew. You would see the biggest gift would be from me, and the card attached would say, thank you for being a friend. So on behalf of the staff here at Bentley University, congratulations, thank you from the bottom of my heart, and nothing but the best of luck to all of you.
That was a nice speech, Adam. So I'm going to read a Hebrew scripture. This is a passage from the Torah, from the book of Genesis, from the reading Vayetzeh. This is the story of Jacob's ladder, and it's about moving on to a new chapter in your life. Jacob left Beersheba and headed towards Charan. He came to a familiar place and spent the night there because the sun had already set. Taking some stones, he placed them at his head and lay down there to sleep. He had a vision in a dream. A ladder was standing on the ground, and its top reached up towards the heavens. God's angels were going up and down in it. Suddenly, he saw God standing over him, and God said, Adonai Elohei Avraham, Avika ve Elohei Yitzchak haaretz, Asher ata shochev aleha lecha etana ulekar. V'hene anoki imach ushmartika bechol asher. Telech v'hashpitoteka el ha'adama. Hazoki lo ezovcha ad asher imatziti et asher dibarti lach. I am God, Lord of Abraham, Father, and Lord of Isaac. I will give to you and your descendants the land upon which you are lying. Your descendants will be like the dust on the earth. You shall spread out to the west, to the east, to the north, and the south. All the families on earth will be blessed through you and your descendants. I am with you, and I will protect you wherever you go. I will bring you back to the soil, and I will not turn aside you until I have fully kept this promise to you. To the class of 2011, Mazel Tov, Roll Tide.